everyone. My name is Firasat Jabeen and today we are here for another episode of our program, Guest on Campus. So today again we have with us another group of Friends of Forman. Hello and welcome to the Media Center and welcome to our podcast show.
Thank you, Rosa.
So let me introduce them to you. We have Mr. Roger Dermody.
Thank you.
And then we have Mr. Steve Shabat and Mr. Robert Tebby. We have already recorded a couple of podcasts with Friends of Forman, and I believe from those videos our viewers already know who are Friends of Forman and what they do. And also it bears repeating that this facility, Media Center, where we record and produce these podcasts, it was made possible by the generous support and funding of Friends of Forman. Currently, we are in the process of beginning another facility, Campus Center. So for our today's podcast, we'll mainly talk about this new facility, which is known as Campus Center, and in some American universities, it's known as Student Center as well. I believe Student Center or Campus Center is a relatively new idea for many Pakistani universities. So let's begin our discussion with this question that what is a Campus Center? So I would like to ask this question from Mr. Roger Dermody. If you can tell our audience and talk about this idea, what is a Campus Center and why is it important for students? What is its purpose and how can it be beneficial for our Forman students and also for Forman staff members and faculty?
Well, thank you, Faraz. It is good to be back. I was here just a couple months ago, and thank you for the hospitality. About a week ago today, I was in the United States, and my wife and I took our youngest daughter for a parent orientation at her new university. She's going to start there in August as a first-year student. And as we got to the campus, we found out that all the activities of the day were actually planned for their student union building, which is very similar to this campus center. They first put us in a group of parents, about 500 parents, and they did kind of an orientation in one of the kind of exhibit spaces that they had. And my daughter was put off into another smaller group, kind of a breakout, if you will, that was specific to her major. And so all the students departed and dispersed and went to these different breakout rooms, which were all there in the campus center. After that, we went down and we had her student ID photo taken in one place. We got her class schedule and registered for classes in another lounge. We went to still another lounge and we got her signed up for her hostel or her dormitory. We went to another space and had to get her signed up for her meal plan. And then there was an exhibit space where all the different campus clubs and societies and groups had tables. And so the students were able to go out and talk with people, interact, see if there was one that interests them. On the ground floor, we went into the campus store and we bought the campus sweatshirt that she could have as a souvenir. And then at lunch, there were a lot of different dining options that she had, and so we ate lunch. All of that took place in this student union building. And that building is not unique to just the campus that my daughter's going to. That is, every college campus in America has a facility like that. And that is really much of what is going to be in the new campus center. A space where students and parents who are thinking about coming to school for the first time can feel a sense of hospitality and welcome. A place that makes it very convenient to have all these different gatherings and meetings and breakouts. But that's just at the orientation. It carries on like that throughout the year. Different events, student societies gathering, places where they can eat, a quiet place to study. In the digital library downstairs, a place to socialize and to have, meet with your friends that's air conditioned and all of that. And so this campus center, we're so excited. We know it's unique in Pakistan, but I think it's going to provide very similar uses to what we experienced at my daughter's college just last week.
All right, thank you. Well, it seems to me that it's going to be a place that will provide recreation opportunities and socialization opportunities,
Yes.
more importantly, to our students.
Yes.
Mr. Robert Tebby, so in the light of what Mr. Dermody has just said, what do you think, how can our students, how can and should our students make maximum of this opportunity?
Well, just to relate a personal experience, when I was going to graduate school, I had come out of the military, and so I was going to school full-time, and my wife was working full-time. So we would drive to the campus every day in the morning, and she would go to work and I would go to school. And we couldn't come home until the end of the day when she finished with work. So I didn't have classes every hour of the day during that 8 or so hours that we were on the campus. I had to find some place, and other students were in the similar situation, had to find a space where they could work and study between classes. We had no other place to go. And I came on the Forman campus a couple of times, and one thing that struck me is you go in any open space and it's filled with students. And I said, that would have been me if we had not had a library where we could have gone to and studied. And the question was, would people come to the campus center? And my answer there was, of course, because it's, number one, it's air conditioned, but it's a place where you can go in between classes. You can either socialize, you can study, but it is a central place, a nice place to go. You can get something to eat. For people that are you're not going to class the entire day. You have other things that you're doing during the day, and this provides a central place to satisfy that need. And I think it will be widely used by students once it is up and running.
Yeah, thank you. Again, I think it's going to be a great place where students can do networking and socialization. So I would like to ask my next question from Mr. Steve Shabet. So the Friends of Forman have been very helpful, especially in the growth and expansion of Forman campus in terms of infrastructure especially. So I wanted to ask you this question that where do you see the future of Forman, let's say, in next 5 or 10 years?
I think that Forman is poised for a lot of growth in the next 5 to 10 years. The Student Center was thought about and recognized that they needed it back in 2006. And at the time, this was shortly after denationalization. And the focus at the time was to rebuild the academics. Because if you don't have world-class learning for the students, then they won't come, and then you won't need a student center. So they focused initially on building the buildings to give the students at Forman a world-class education. And the students have come. And I was here in 2016, and we were touring the facilities, and the students were congregating in stairwells and hallways, every nook and cranny they could find to get together in groups and meet and share ideas and do homework and projects. And we were standing out, Jim Tebby and Sam Schreier and I were standing out in what I guess was called the cricket field. And I said, you know, what we need here is a student center. And they said, yeah, we've been thinking about it for 10 years. And so I said, well, I think it's time. We have the academics, we have the students, let's build it, and we'll pray about it, and we'll see if God can speak to the hearts of donors to come in and make it possible. And now it's being built, and it should be ready by the end of the year. Yesterday we were walking the grounds, and we saw other potential areas where we could fill other needs that the campus has, and we can build other buildings to support that. And maybe not large buildings like the Student Center, but more targeted special use buildings that are smaller, that go up faster, they cost less, and we can populate corners of the campus with these other buildings. So I think in the next 5 to 10 years, you'll see more fields that are currently not being utilized, populated with buildings that add additional services and additional opportunities for students to learn, to come together, and to share.
Well, we look forward to some great adventures and experiences in the wake of our Student Campus Center. Toward the end of our podcast, Mr. Dermody, I would like to ask you if you would like to deliver a message using this platform of our Media Center YouTube channel, we have subscribers in hundreds, and a number of subscribers are growing every day. So if you could use this forum to deliver a message or to say something, to reach out to Forman community.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thank you for that. I mentioned that the Student Center for my daughter really provided a warm hospitality, if you will, to my wife and to my daughter and I as we are starting in this academic journey for her. I see the Campus Center doing the same thing here. I love the Forman motto, by love, serve one another. That ought to be a place where that is lived out in such a powerful way day by day, that every one of you who goes into that Campus Center feels something of the hospitality, something of the grace of God, and something of just understanding that this is a place where we can live out this motto of by love, serve one another. So I look forward to coming back, as I hope I will be able to, as working with Friends of Forman and seeing all of you populating this building and using this building. And there's probably ways, as my friends here, my board leaders actually, have mentioned, that we can't even envision yet. The students have such creativity. They're going to be able to utilize some of the space and dream some dreams that we still won't know until they do it. So I look forward to coming back and seeing some of those dreams in reality, and just celebrating that this has now become from a dream many, many years ago to something that's here on campus and just being a blessing to this community.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today and sharing details related to our newly built campus center with us. Now this brings an end to our program, but before I end, I would like to say thank you very much to help us grow here in Pakistan. And again, as always, I would like to end today's show with our college's motto, by love, serve one another. Thank you.